Michael George was born into a modest family in a small town where the mantra "hard work pays off" was instilled in him from a young age. His father was a factory worker, and his mother was a school teacher, both of whom emphasized the importance of education and perseverance. Despite their limited means, they supported his academic endeavors, noticing early on his exceptional intelligence and ambition. From a young age, Micheal was fascinated by the world of business. He would often accompany his father to the local factory, observing the operations and absorbing insights into management and teamwork. His natural analytical skills and keen interest in financial markets propelled him to excel academically. In high school, he participated in various extracurricular activities, including debate club and student government, further developing his leadership skills. When he received a scholarship to a prestigious university, it marked the beginning of his transformation. There, Micheal majored in economics and finance, where he was introduced to the world of investment and entrepreneurship. His relentless work ethic paid off. He graduated at the top of his class and landed an internship at a leading investment firm. Over the years, through a combination of strategic investments and entrepreneurial ventures, Micheal made a name for himself in the finance industry. He co-founded a successful tech startup that revolutionized online investing, which rapidly gained traction and drew the attention of wealthy investors. By his late 20s, Micheal had become a billionaire, living in a luxurious penthouse adorned with high-end art and hosting extravagant parties. However, despite his success and wealth, Micheal lived a life shadowed by emotional barriers. His relentless pursuit of perfection and the fear of vulnerability pushed people away, leading to a series of failed relationships. After a heart-wrenching breakup with his long-term girlfriend, he became convinced that creating a fortress around his heart, little did he know, his life was about to change unexpectedly on a fateful night when he met Lucy, challenging his notions of love and family, compelling him to rethink what it means to be truly alive. They went on a few dates with Lucy for 6 months, then later visited Lucy's parents and got married in a luxurious wedding. Stayed together for 5 years without having children, decided to visit a doctor that Lucy recommended. The results showed that Micheal was sterile and he could not have children. Lucy wasn't happy with it. She later filed for a divorce, leaving Micheal in disbelief. His success as a billionaire stems from a relentless drive to achieve his goals. He is results-oriented and excels in high-pressure situations, often pushing himself beyond normal limits. Due to previous heartbreaks, Micheal has built walls around his emotions. He struggles with intimacy and vulnerability, making it difficult for him to form deep connections. Micheal is astute, analytical, and possesses a magnetic charm that often draws people to him. However, he sometimes uses this charm as a facade to mask his true feeling. Beneath his confident exterior lies a profound sense of loneliness. His belief that he is sterile amplifies his feelings of isolation, as he feels disconnected from the life he envisions for himself. Growing up in a loving, hardworking family, Micheal shares a solid bond with his parents. However, their humble lifestyle and constant focus on work led him to develop a strong desire for success, pushing him away from expressing emotions or forming close connections. Micheal's past relationships have been tumultuous. After a particularly serious relationship ended, when Lucy filed for the divorce left him for her own interests, he became more cynical about love. This betrayal reinforced his belief that relationships are inherently risky. While he has acquaintances and colleagues, Micheal struggles to establish genuine friendships. He often feels misunderstood, creating a sense of alienation in both personal and professional settings. After divorcing his wife, Micheal, whom they have been married for over 5 years, spiraled, consumed by feelings of heartbreak and loneliness because he couldn't give her a child. He pleaded and begged, but she was very determined. Eventually, he had to let her go. When the divorce decree was signed, Lucy's smile was brighter than if she had won the lottery. He went to the bar and drowned himself with a gin, and that's when his best friend Joseph found him and begged him to drink himself silly. "By the way, your mother is worried about you. She is trying to call, but you're not answering your calls." He tried to convince him to go home, but Micheal refused. Joseph told him that it's not the end of the world. Life still goes, and you have a world ahead of you. "I know you love Lucy so much, but you have to let go. Maybe God has something special for you ahead of you." Both laughed about it. Micheal listened to his best friend. Joseph's wife, called unfortunately, had to go back and attend to his wife, since she had just given birth, and he left. Micheal ordered more drinks. The sound of the waitress snapped him back. "Thanks," he said. He reached out and squeezed. She jolted, spun on him, furious. "What is wrong with you?" Sweetness on the woman's face had vanished, replaced with the fierce look of a lion about to strike. Micheal assumed she was for hire, convinced she was an escort just because she works in a bar. Miss Joan, the bar manager, came and asked what was going on here. "Mom, this man groped me and tried to buy me," Malaika said, trembling in anger. "Malaika, leave us." "Miss Joan," Malaika walked away without looking back. "It was late, but Miss," Joan said in a calm voice, kept trying to persuade Malaika to accept the drunk customer's offer, said it was a lot of money and could help with her problems. Miss Joan also confided that he wasn't the kind of man who usually picked up women at the bars. He had just been separated by his wife. He is rich, the type most women dream of. Her best friend Anna, who connected her to the job, nudged her. "You need money. Why not take Mr. Michael's offer? He's rich and good looking. If he likes your performance, he might become a regular." Anna whispered. "I can't start paying for my mom's treatment with money from selling my body," Malaika said, eyes down. "These days, pride doesn't pay the bills. Think how fast you could cover your mom's hospital costs. You could even start a small business for her once she recovers. The offer's big. Maybe because you're still new." Malaika needed money for her mother's Kathy treatment and to pay mounting debts. She wanted to help her mom stop taking in other people's laundry just to survive. She asked herself, how could I do any of that on a waitress's pay? Maybe Anna was right. Maybe this was the fastest way to fix everything. "Miss," Joan asked her if she's still going to deny the $10 million. She asked Miss Joan, what if the man gets her pregnant? Miss Joan told her to try her luck. You never know, he could become your future husband. Malaika later agreed at around 11 p.m. Then Miss Joan drove her to the hotel and she emphasized to call her. "In case of any problem, think of your sick mother, Miss," Joan said. She then drove back to the bar. Malaika entered the hotel and she found Mr. Michael on the sofa while smoking. When their eyes met, a chill ran through her as if he were studying every inch of her. Her face burned when she saw his gaze drop and linger on her chest. Instinctively, she went straight to the bathroom. Then she stepped under the shower and scrubbed her skin again and again. She wanted to be clean, presentable, especially for the millions he was paying. Nearly an hour later, as she turned off the water, a loud knock rattled the door. She clapped a hand over her mouth when she heard Michael's voice. "Miss, are you all right?" he called. Concerned with threading his tone, Malaika grabbed a towel and wrapped it around herself. She felt practically naked, the white towel the only barrier between them. Micheal grabbed her and lifted her as if she weighed nothing. Malaika was too startled to resist. He set her on the bed and slipped off the towel. She lay there like a newborn exposed. They started a conversation. Michael has resigned himself to a life without familial ties. The one-night stand represents a rebellious rejection of this predetermined fate, a moment of spontaneity that defies the constraints he has placed on his own life. Despite his guardedness, there is a yearning for emotional and physical connection. Meeting Malaika ignites a spark of attraction that temporarily alleviates his loneliness, leading him to act on impulse. Their conversations flowed with a surprising ease. Despite his wealth and reputation, the billionaire spoke with a raw honesty that caught her off guard. He told her things he'd never told anyone. How being told he was sterile had quietly broken him. How he felt like part of his identity had been stolen. She wasn't afraid of his vulnerability. She asked questions that weren't surface level. She saw past the arrogance, the tailored suits, and the aloof public persona to the man underneath, aching and lonely. Their chemistry was instant, almost reckless. It was the kind of connection that felt bigger than logic. He felt seen for the first time in years, and she felt desired in a way that felt almost dangerous. It wasn't just physical attraction, it was an emotional spark, the kind that makes breathing feel lighter, touches feel electric, and silence feel intimate rather than awkward. "You're beautiful," he murmured, eyes heavy as he lowered his mouth to hers. Malaika gasped when Michael finally slid inside her. "I'm sorry, I'll be gentle," Micheal whispered at her ear, brushing a sweaty strand from her brow. By the time they kissed, it wasn't about lust. It was two wounded people finding comfort in each other's presence and letting go of everything they were supposed to be. Believing that he is sterile, he didn't use protection. The one-night stand wasn't planned. It was the natural result of two hearts that aligned for one fleeting moment in time. In the morning, she woke up alone in the huge bed. She wrapped the comforter around herself and stood. On the table sat a takeout box with rice and a small note. "Good morning. Eat well. "Forget me." Beside it lay a paper bag with an off-shoulder dress, underwear, and a sealed envelope. Inside a signed check for $10 million. Jenna dressed in a hurry, too overwhelmed to eat. She caught a cab to the bank, opened an account, and deposited the money. Then she went straight to the hospital to see her mother. The one-night stand came with clarity, not regret, but reality. He had a life built on structure, business, and secrets he wasn't sure he could share. She had dreams that didn't fit into the quiet luxury of his world. And even though the connection was real, they agreed it was too much for something that happened so quickly. In the afternoon, Micheal dragged himself into his office with a throbbing head. He had important work he couldn't miss. "Good morning, sir," his secretary greeted. He gave a curt nod and walked on. In his office, Joseph lounged on the couch, flipping through a magazine. "Whoa. Late start?" Alex teased. "Overslept," Ethan said. "Sorry I didn't come back last night," Joseph added. "My wife sent me home. She had a fever." Micheal waved it off with a smile. "No worries. I had a good time." "That smile tells a story." "Spill," Joseph prodded. "I met a woman at the bar and gave her $10 million. Michael said flatly. "What? $10 million for one night?" Joseph choked. "She was a virgin? Never touched?" says Micheal. Micheal answered, a strange mix of pride and disbelief tightening his voice. "Not bad." Joseph grinned. Micheal nodded, but his mind kept drifting to the woman from the bar. The woman whose beauty he couldn't forget, the one who had somehow kept herself until now. He tried to bury the night and the pain with it. 3 months passed. Despite long nights when the memory of the bar girl haunted him, Micheal refused to seek her out. He didn't want to be hurt by anyone again. He buried himself in the company every hour spent on work, until one day, an unexpected visitor, Malaika, trembling. Michael furiously asked her, standing quickly. Even drunk, he had memorized what she was doing at his office. Even drunk, he had memorized her face, looking pale and thinner. But Malaika was determined to tell him she's pregnant, but she sees fear in his eyes instead of joy. He was shocked, but also deeply moved. For a man who thought he was sterile, this feels like a miracle, Michael told her. "You don't have to put on an act to get more money. Name your price. I'll pay." She then pulled an ultrasound report from her handbag and handed it to him. He opened it, frowning. "How?" "Just don't ever show your face to me again," he said, voice rising. He felt insulted to the core. Tears sprang to Malaika's eyes. "You think I need more money? $10 million is already more than enough to raise this child on my own. I wanted to inform you that you're going to be a father. Never mind. I won't force you to take responsibility or even to acknowledge the baby. Knowing I told you is enough," she said, cheeks burning with anger. Micheal had no comeback. She was right. She didn't need to fake anything. The $10 million could raise a child if she used it well. "I'll go. Keep the results as a reminder of your child," Malaika said, turning for the door. Michael caught her wrist. "If you're telling the truth, we're doing a paternity test," Michael said, suddenly sweating. Malaika searched his face. He was serious. "Fine. I agree," she said. Better to end his doubts early. Michael wasted no time. He called a friend who ran a diagnostics lab and a director and took Malaika straight to the clinic. They authorized a non-invasive prenatal paternity test. He rushed a same-day preliminary reading and promised the full certified report within 48 hours. The preliminary result matched Micheal with extremely high probability. He read it again and again, stunned. "You believe me now?" Malaika asked, watching him. "Yes, and I'm sorry for what I thought," Micheal said softly. "My ex-wife Lucy and I were convinced I was the problem. That's why we never had a child. I understand, but I need to be clear. You don't have to take responsibility for my baby," Malaika said. "No, I will take responsibility for both of you. We're going to be a family," Micheal said, eyes shining. He felt whole for the first time in years. Micheal took her to the mall to do some shopping for her and the baby. She told him, "We don't know the gender. Maybe we could get neutral colors." He looked like the happiest man in the world. They agreed she would move into his house the next day after the place was cleaned. Everything that belonged to his ex-wife Lucy sent back to her family. Micheal picked Malaika up at her mother's home. After getting rid of her ex-wife's things, Malaika introduced him to Mother Kathy and asked her if she really loved him and wanted to go stay with him. She told her mom that Micheal helped her pay the hospital bills. Kathy asked Micheal to take care of her daughter properly. Michael promised Kathy he will never let anything happen to Malaika. An hour later, they pulled up to a large, beautiful house. Micheal honked and a uniformed guard, Mr. Evans, opened the gate. Micheal drove in, then helped out of the car. "It's beautiful. Are you sure I'm really gonna live here? It's my dream house, the place I imagine living with my future family. There's a pool out back and a playground. Our kids are gonna love it." He reached instinctively toward her belly. She flinched, still shy about even the simplest gestures. She looked toward the yard. Micheal pointed out. From the patio, she could see a swing set and a small slide, perfect for a child, plus a half court for basketball and benches along the path. The house was airy and spotless, no dust on the walls or in the corners. Expensive pieces hung in the hall, paintings by well-known artists. 3 housekeepers greeted them with warm smiles. "Good day, sir, ma'am." Micheal introduced Malaika as his fiancée, and she's pregnant. "I want you to take care of her and treat her with the same respect you give me," he said. "Yes, sir," they answered. After giving a few instructions, Micheal told them to bring Malaika's things to her room and led her upstairs. "This will be your room, is it okay?" Micheal asked, opening the door onto a spacious bedroom with a big bed, a side table, and a wall of built-in closets. The cool paint made the room feel calm. "Thank you. Where's your room? Aren't you staying here?" Malaika asked, noticing there were no men's things around. "Right across the hall. If you need anything, food, anything, come get me," Micheal said. Heat crept into Malaika's cheeks. She worried he'd think she wanted to share a bed. Micheal smiled. "Are you all right? Would you rather we sleep in the same room?" "I thought you might be uncomfortable," he said. Malaika squeezed her eyes shut and answered, head down. "Separate rooms are fine. I'm not used to sharing." "Okay, I have to get back to the office." She started to get along with helping the housekeepers while learning about Micheal from them. "Ladies, if you need anything," he said. "Thanks," she replied. A little after 6, Micheal's car pulled up. Malaika hurried from the kitchen to meet him. Even if they were bound now, mostly by the baby, she couldn't help the flutter in her chest. "Hi," she said with a bright smile. Michael's head lifted, the tension in his brow easing when he saw her. He looked exhausted, but her smile drew one from him. "Hey, how was your day? Did our baby behave?" he asked, walking toward her. Malaika's eyes widened when his warm lips brushed her cheek. "We're okay. I got a long nap," she said. "Good. You need your strength," he said, eyes dropping to her belly. "Can I touch it?" Guilt pricked Malaika as she remembered the 2 times he'd reached out before, and she had dodged him. "Of course," she said. Micheal laid a hand on her stomach, then pressed his ear there, grinning like a kid. Malaika didn't know what to feel, his cheek warm against her. "Hello, baby. Daddy's here," he murmured, rubbing gentle circles before standing and meeting Malaika's eyes. "Thank you for carrying my child. After everything I've been through, I didn't think I could be happy again." "You gave me back my life," he said, voice thick. "It's nothing. I'm the one who should thank you. You paid for my mother's treatment," Malaika said. "Okay, enough or you'll make me cry," Micheal teased when her voice went wobbly. "Dinner's ready. Let's eat," she said. "Go ahead. I'll run upstairs and change," he replied. Back in the kitchen, Malaika set the table. When Micheal walked in, Mrs. Gloria, the eldest housekeeper who had cared for him since infancy, beamed. "That smells amazing." "I'm suddenly starving," Micheal joked. Malaika cooked that. The next day, after Malaika's prenatal checkup, Micheal headed to the office and found Joseph waiting. "Heard you moved a girl into your house," Joseph said. "Malaika? She's pregnant?" Micheal answered. "How? I thought you were sterile," Joseph blurted. "I don't know how, but the lab says I'm the father," Micheal said, explaining the test. "Wow, congrats," Joseph grinned. On his way home that evening, Micheal stopped by a flower shop. Over the months of living together, he'd fallen for Malaika. He told her so. She hadn't said it back yet, but he could feel her softening, and he was willing to prove himself. Night after night, he brought flowers and little things that made her smile. He'd never really courted anyone before, but he was happy trying. Happier than he'd ever been with his ex-wife Lucy. Walking out of the flower shop, his phone buzzed. A text from Malaika. "We're out of watermelon. Don't come home without one." Grinning, he rerouted to the nearest supermarket. At the checkout, he bumped into Lucy. He looked at her without expression and stepped past. She grabbed his arm. "Hi, how are you?" she asked eagerly. "I'm fine," he said flatly. "Can we grab dinner or coffee?" she asked softly and pleaded. "No thanks. I need to get home," he said. "Micheal, we're talking. Didn't you miss me?" It's been months. Why are you so cold? She asked, looping her arms around his neck. Is there a reason I should miss you? We've been over for a long time. I have a new life now, and you're not in it, he said, peeling her arms away and walking off. Lucy stood fuming, unable to accept how easily he'd moved on. Back at the house, Malaika paced the living room. Micheal never came home this late. It was past 8. Usually, he was in by 6. She was worried, and if she weren't embarrassed to call, she would've. Malaika, aren't you going to eat? Your food's getting cold, Mrs. Gloria said gently. I'll wait for Micheal, Malaika answered. He might be late. It's not good for you to skip meals, especially now, the older woman chided. He's probably almost here. He said he was on his way earlier. I just suddenly craved watermelon, so I asked him to pick one up. Malaika said, Okay, but call me if you want to eat, Mrs. Gloria said. 30 minutes later, Malaika heard the car. She ran outside. What took you so long? She pouted. Sorry, traffic, Michael said. She crossed her arms, lips pursed. Here's the watermelon, he offered sweetly. Malaika eyed it, then shot him a frosty look. I don't want it anymore, she huffed, turning away. I thought you and the baby wanted watermelon, he said. I did, now I don't. You eat it, she said, stalking inside. You still haven't eaten? He asked when he saw the untouched plates. I waited for you, she said, pulling out a chair. After dinner, just as Michael thought he'd finally rest, Malaika called. Mrs. Gloria, could you please slice the watermelon for Michael? He blinked. Me? Yep. Malaika said. You kids and your late-night cravings? Mrs. Gloria tutted, setting down a plate of watermelon wedges. You sure you want me to finish all of this? Micheal asked. Malaika nodded, folded her arms on the table, and watched him eat. He was stuffed, but he dutifully polished off nearly all of it. With one slice left, Malaika snatched it and ate. That's good. I want more. Michael kept calm, reminding himself of Joseph's advice about pregnancy cravings. The supermarket's closed and the farmer's market's far. I'll get more tomorrow, he said. Fine, but you better get home fast, she warned, one brow raised. Promise, he said. Leaving the kitchen, Micheal considered telling Malaika about running into Lucy, but thought better of it. No need to feed suspicions when he was late. I almost forgot something for you, he said as they reached the stairs. I'll grab it. Okay, I'll be in my room, she said. Careful on the stairs, he called. He returned with a bouquet of roses and found Malaika getting ready for bed. For you, he said, smiling. Thank you, but you didn't have to. The last bouquet isn't even wilted yet, she said, pointing to yesterday's roses. I want you and our baby to feel loved every day, he replied. Something fluttered in Malaika's chest. She scratched her temple, then looked him straight in the face and stood. You know you're not hard to love. The truth is, I love you, she whispered. Micheal stared, stunned. Really? Really? I love you, not because I'm pregnant, but because that's what my heart says. She smiled. Color rose in Micheal's cheeks. I love you so much. Thank you for coming into my life. And for our baby, he said, eyes wet as he hugged her tight. Don't thank me. If anyone should be grateful, it's me. Without you, my mom might not be alive, she said, hugging him back. Maybe we were meant to meet that night. I promise I'll protect you both from everything and everyone, he vowed. Protect us from what? She asked. From anything that tries to hurt you, he said. Thank you. Did you hear that, baby? Your daddy loves us that much? Malaika, I'd give you the sun and stars if I could, Micheal said. How did the sun and stars get into this? She giggled. That's how much I love you. I'd give you the sky, he said earnestly. Corny, she teased, tweaking his nose until they were both laughing. It's late. You should sleep. Bad to be up. Too long, Micheal said, checking his watch. Good night. Rest. You must be tired, Malaika replied. Good night. Sweet dreams, he said, stepping out, then turned back, inching close with a playful pout. Can I have a kiss? Just one. Go to sleep, she said. Flustered. Please. Just on the cheek. Fine. Cheek. Only Micheal leaned in, but she turned at the last second. His lips found hers. The kiss deepened before either could breathe. Sweet, he murmured when they finally pulled apart. Late as it was, Malaika still couldn't sleep, replaying that kiss over and over. She tried to force herself to rest and failed. Finally, she grabbed a pillow and knocked on Micheal's door. Sleep blurred. He opened it. What's wrong? Do you need anything? He rasped. I can't sleep, she pouted. Are you in pain? He asked anxiously. No, I want to sleep in your room, she whispered. Sure, come in, he said, widening the door and helping her to bed before lying down beside her. Let's sleep, he said softly. Okay, she answered, tugging the comforter to her chest. A few minutes later, Micheal was snoring. Malaika's eyes were still wide. Her stomach rumbled. She wanted carbonara. She didn't want to wake him. He'd worked all day. When she finally sat up, Micheal stirred. Can't sleep? He asked hoarsely. I'm hungry. I want carbonara, she said. Now? Can it wait till morning? He groaned, flopping back. No, I'm hungry now. I can't sleep if I'm hungry, she said logically. Micheal sighed, swung his legs over the side, and stood. He glanced at her little frown and smiled. Okay, I'll make you carbonara. Her scowl vanished. She took his offered hand and followed him downstairs. He cooked quietly, not waking the staff well past their hours. Malaika sat at the dining table, arms folded, watching his every move. She wondered again how anyone could have left a man with so many good qualities. Carbonara is ready, he announced, setting a plate in front of her. Wow, thank you, she said, digging in immediately. By noon the next day, Malaika woke alone. Micheal must have gone to work. She hurried through her routine and headed downstairs, only to hear a woman's furious voice. Admit it! How long have you been lying to me? His ex-wife Lucy was there shouting. I don't need to answer that, Micheal said, calm but cold. You know how much I loved you. I never looked at anyone else, but you still left and you destroyed my confidence. With the fake sterility test results you pushed for, he added, anger finally breaking through. I'm sorry, I only did that because it was the strongest case for an annul, for a divorce, so we could go back to how we were, ex-wife pleaded. Leave. I don't need you. Don't come back, Micheal said. You can't do this to me. I love you. I'm sorry for everything. I'll change, she cried. Malaika's heart clenched for her. Just go and don't come near me again. We're done, Micheal said, voice like steel. Lucy's sobs shook her shoulders. Malaika stepped into the doorway. What happened here? She asked steady. Micheal looked at her, but didn't speak. Lucy swiped at her tears and turned with a glare. And who are you? She spat. I'm Malaika, Micheal's girlfriend, Malaika said, taking a step back as Lucy advanced. Girlfriend? You went over a man like Micheal. You look like trash. A desperate woman stealing my husband? Lucy sneered. The words stung. Malaika, silent. Micheal, tell me who she is. Is she really your girlfriend? Is your taste that low now? Lucy demanded. Micheal glanced at Malaika, then faced Tracy. No, she's not my girlfriend anymore, he said evenly. Malaika froze where she stood, shame washing over her. She thought they were finally okay. Lucy smirked at Malaika's crumpling face. Micheal took Malaika's waist and pulled her close. Because she's my fiancée, and she's the mother of my child. Our wedding is next month, he said. Malaika, brimming tears, spilled over, this time from joy. Lucy went rigid, struggling to process it. Micheal pressed a quick kiss to Malaika's lips. Good morning. Sorry I left you in the room. The noise woke me, he said. It's okay. I thought you'd already gone to work, Malaika replied softly. I hate you, Lucy hissed. We've been apart almost 6 months, and you already have someone else. How dare you? She lunged, but Micheal stepped between them. Don't you dare touch her. Malaika is pregnant with our first child, he warned. You'll regret this. Lucy snapped, storming out. In the kitchen, Mrs. Gloria slammed a plate down. What did that woman want? The nerve coming back here after what she did? She fumed. Ignore her, Mrs. Gloria. She just wants trouble. Tell Mr. Evans to tighten security, especially with Malaika pregnant, Micheal said. He should have never let her in, Mrs. Gloria huffed. It's fine. He probably didn't know. Don't work yourself up, Micheal soothed. When the older woman turned away, Malaika faced him. Why did you lie about me being your fiancé? We're not engaged and we're not getting married next month, she said. Micheal took her hand and squeezed. Who said we're not? He asked. Are you asking me to marry you? Malaika asked. Why not? You're carrying my child. We love each other. All that's missing is the wedding. We have somewhere to be later, he said. Where? Secret. You'll see. He grinned. After lunch, Micheal drove to a boutique. Rows of gowns glittered under soft lights. What are we doing here? Malaika asked. You're getting measured for your wedding dress, he said. Is this real? She whispered. Very, he smiled. His phone rang and he stepped aside to answer. A gown caught Malaika's eye, simple and elegant. She reached for it just as another hand closed over the fabric. Lucy, so it's true, the woman marrying my ex is cheap and unworthy. Can't even pick a dress without help, Tracy taunted. Please leave me alone. I'm not doing anything to you, Malaika said. You stole my ex, Lucy retorted. He was your ex when I met him. You left him. That's how I met him, Malaika replied. Oh, that's right. You met him at a bar. Were you a waitress or a prostitute? Tracy asked loudly, drawing eyes from across the showroom. Whatever she was, it's none of your business, Micheal cut in. Malaika hadn't noticed his return. He took Malaika's hand and led her out. Where are we going? I like that gown, Malaika said. They'll deliver it once it's fitted, he answered. Good, I don't think I could have gone back in there after that, Malaika sighed. Don't be ashamed. I met you at a bar, yes, but I know who you are, Micheal said. Thank you, she murmured, leaning against his chest. After a short leave to help Malaika settle, Micheal returned to work. Papers piled up. He was signing when his secretary rushed in. Sir, I'm sorry. Miss Lucy won't be stopped. Hi, Lucy sang, waving with a sweet smile. Leave us, Micheal told his secretary. Lucy closed the door and locked it. Micheal stood from his chair, brow furrowed. What are you doing here? Since I'm not welcome at your house, I figured I'd visit you here. She purred, swaying toward him, fingers tracing his chest. What do you think you're doing? He asked, jaw tight. Didn't you miss me? We haven't seen each other in months, she said. He grabbed her wrist and set it aside. Stop! You left me hanging, and I still forgave you without an apology, because I'm happy now. Go find what you really want, he said. Lucy held his gaze, then her eyes turned glassy. After what I did to our marriage, I know what I need. I want you back. When I left, I realized how much I love you, she cried. No, if you'd loved me, you wouldn't have done what you did, he answered. Please give me one more chance, she begged. No more chances. Malaika and I are having a child. She rebuilt what you destroyed. With her, I can finally have the life I once dreamed of. With you, he said. Don't do this. You don't love me at all anymore. I'm sorry. I care about you as a friend. Let me go the way I let you go, he said. I still love you, she whispered. I'm sorry, he replied. Lucy broke into harsh sobs. Micheal wanted to comfort her, but he didn't move. Mercy would only drag this out. Minutes later, she wiped her face and walked to the door. He thought she was leaving. Then she turned. She'd stripped off her clothes. What are you doing? He snapped. You miss me. I know you do, she said, stalking toward him. Stop. Nothing you do can change the truth. We're over, he said. You only pity that Malaika, she hissed. Have some respect for yourself, he thundered. The fury in his face made her flinch. She hurried into her clothes and fled. Micheal exhaled, long and shaking. A month later, their wedding day. Everyone buzzed with happiness for Micheal and Malaika, though some still whispered, barely months after the divorce, he was marrying again, and his bride was already pregnant. Micheal and Malaika ignored the gossip. Congratulations to both of you. Congrats, echoed around the reception. You're glowing, Joseph teased Micheal. Of course, I have no reason to be sad. I've got everything I need. Just praying for the safety of the people I love, Micheal said. You're getting mushy on me, bro? Joseph laughed and they both cracked up. Thanks for everything, Micheal added. Always, Joseph said. At another table, Anna hugged Malaika. I'm so happy for you. Remember when you couldn't stand him? Now married, she squealed, glancing at Micheal, chatting with guests. I guess that's how it is. We go through a lot before we recognize the person meant for us, Malaika said. Exactly. That's why I still believe someone out there will love me for real. Anna smiled. With your beauty. Of course, Malaika laughed. They ate and laughed with friends until Micheal finally announced they were heading home. Malaika needed rest. Friends and family teased him for wanting his bride all to himself. He only laughed. We're married now. Are you happy? Micheal asked as they drove. Very. I still can't believe it, Malaika said. Believe it. I still have surprises for you. He teased me. No more surprises. Let's focus on the baby. In a few months, we'll finally meet our little one, she said. Hello, baby. Are you happy today? Micheal asked Malaika's belly. He moved? She giggled, laying both hands over the curve. Means he's happy for us? Micheal said, delighted. They chatted all the way home, smiling as they pulled into the driveway, only to find a visitor waiting. Lucy, what are you doing here? If you're here to stir trouble, leave. Malaika and I are married. You can't undo that, Micheal said. I'm not here to fight. I accept that we're over. I came to say goodbye and to congratulate you both. I also want to apologize for the chaos I caused. Don't worry, this is the last time you'll see me. I'm moving to the USA. I hope your marriage is strong and happy. I'm really sorry, Lucy said, crying. Micheal stepped forward and hugged his ex. Malaika watched quietly. Thank you, and I'm sorry if our wedding hurt you. I'm sorry I moved on before you were ready, Micheal said. You're right. We're not meant for each other, Tracy whispered, releasing him. She faced Malaika. Thank you. Please, take care of Micheal. Don't repeat my mistakes, she said. You can count on me, Malaika replied. They spoke a little longer, and when Lucy left, Micheal turned to his wife, brimming with gratitude. Thank you. You didn't just teach me to love again. You gave me a family, he said. You're always thanking me. I should be the one thanking you. Rich or not, you loved me and married me. Malaika laughed. I love you, Micheal said, leaning in. I love you too, Malaika answered. He swept her into his arms, carried her up the stairs, and into their room. Tonight is our best night ever, he said, tickling her until they were breathless with laughter. And months later, their colorful, happy life grew brighter still when Malaika gave birth to their first child, a boy, and they named him Micheal Jr. From then on, their home was even happier, filled with love and care. They never heard from Lucy again after the wedding. All they knew was that she'd settled in the USA with her family. A lesson. Before letting go of something, make sure you'll never need it again. As the weeks turned into months, Micheal Jr. quickly became the center of attention in their vibrant household. Each morning began with joyous giggles as his parents took turns making faces to elicit laughter from their baby boy. They created a daily ritual of reading bedtime stories, where the characters came to life through exaggerated voices that left Junior in fits of giggles, echoing throughout their cozy home. Malaika found herself savoring every moment of motherhood, her heart swelling with pride and love each time Micheal Jr. reached a new milestone. From his first smile to the moment he wobbled on his chubby legs, each experience deepened their bond. Micheal, too, embraced fatherhood with open arms, often seen bouncing their son on his knee, sharing tales of adventure from his own childhood filled with playful mischief. One sunny afternoon while they were at the park, Micheal and Malaika noticed other families enjoying the day. It reminded them of their own family dynamics and the love that surrounded them. They decided to organize a small picnic, inviting friends and their neighbors. The laughter and chatter filled the air as they spread out blankets and shared home-cooked meals, creating a supportive community bound by friendship and warmth. As the evening approached, the sun dipped below the horizon, casting a golden hue across the sky. It was during a moment of tranquility, watching Junior chase after butterflies, that they both reflected on their journey. They felt a delightful sense of gratitude, realizing how far they've come since their wedding day, and how their lives had been enriched by the simple joys of family. Days turned into weeks and soon months, as the changing seasons painted the world outside their windows. Each day brought new discoveries for Junior, who was now crawling, babbling, and showing alarming interest in everything around him. Micheal and Malaika filled their home with endless encouragement and laughter. They reveled in the little things. Junior's first solid food, his first attempts to stand, and the wondrous day when he finally said, Mama and Dada. One chilly winter evening as snowflakes danced from the heavens, Micheal surprised Malaika with a small festive tree. They decorated it together as Junior clapped his tiny hands with delight. It became a treasured family tradition, marking the beginning of their holiday festivities. Micheal would tell stories about old family traditions, weaving magic and nostalgia into the air, while Malaika ensured each ornament had a special meaning attached to it, reflecting hopes for their family's future. As Junior grew older, Micheal and Malaika emphasized the importance of education. They regularly took him to the local library. Surrounded by towering shelves of books, they fostered a love for reading within him, selecting colorful picture books and engaging with the imaginative stories. They transformed storytime into a grand adventure, acting out the different characters and even using puppets to bring tales to life, all of which made Junior giggle uncontrollably. In the evenings, after Junior had gone to sleep, Micheal and Malaika would often spend quiet moments reminiscing about their early days together. It wasn't easy, They had built this beautiful life together against the odds. There were still lingering shadows of their past, with Micheal's divorce from Lucy often resurfacing like an unwelcome gust of wind. Despite the joy surrounding them, moments of insecurity would occasionally creep in. One evening, as they snuggled on the couch, Micheal turned to Malaika, concern etched on his face. "Do you ever think about her? About Lucy?" he asked softly. The question hung in the air, weighty and fraught with memories. Malaika saw the unease in Micheal's eyes. She understood the ghost they both carried. "I think about it sometimes, but mostly I'm thankful for where we are now," she replied, pulling him closer. "We have a family full of love, and that's what matters. You're not the man you were back then, and I love you for who you are now." Micheal nodded, reassured by her words. "You're right. I just want to make sure our past doesn't haunt our future." "Nothing can take us back there," she said firmly. "We have our own path now, and it's brighter than I ever imagined." Her words wrapped around Micheal, a balm to his worries. As the years rolled by, Micheal Jr. blossomed into a curious and bright little boy, adored by everyone around him. With each birthday that passed, the family threw colorful parties, celebrating Junior's milestone moments with friends and relatives. They encouraged his creativity, celebrating the many interests he developed, whether it was building elaborate structures with Lego, drawing with watercolors, or dancing to upbeat music. Watching him grow ignited both Micheal and Malaika's parenting instincts. They began exploring new opportunities, with Micheal drawing on his business expertise to set up a foundation aimed at providing educational resources to underprivileged children in their community. After a while, Malaika got pregnant again with twins, which made Micheal overprotective towards her. With the morning sun filtered through the curtains in Micheal's penthouse, washing the room in a warm, golden glow, Malaika lay curled beside him, one hand resting over her small but growing belly. Micheal watched her in silence, studying her face as though memorizing every detail: the faint dimples, the arc of her lashes, the gentle rise and fall of her breath. She looked peaceful, too peaceful. He knew she hadn't slept that way in weeks. Malaika often woke up at night trembling, sometimes crying, sometimes gasping, as if running away from someone in her dreams. And every time, she said the same thing: "I'm fine, Micheal. It is just the pregnancy." But he knew better. Her fears lived in the quiet moments when she'd hold her stomach protectively, when she'd glance over her shoulder, when she'd check the locks twice before bed. Something was haunting her, and she wasn't ready to tell him. Not yet. He brushed a knuckle over her cheek. "I'm right here," she stirred, eyelids fluttering open. A sleepy smile spread across her face, tender and real. "Good morning," she whispered. "Morning, love." She stretched, rolling closer, letting her legs slide over his waist. The movement was soft but intimate, the kind that made every part of him react. "You're staring," she teased. "You're beautiful." Her cheeks warmed. "Stop." "I won't," she sighed, burying her face in his neck. "You're too sweet to me." "You deserve it," he said simply. But as soon as he said it, she tensed just slightly. Barely noticeable, but he saw it. Sweetness, care, love. These things scared her more than anything else, because to her, nothing that felt this good ever lasted. He held her tighter, hoping the warmth of his chest could soothe whatever she refused to say out loud. Lucy stepped off the private jet in oversized sunglasses, a white suit, and an expression carved from ice. She looked like a woman who had everything under control, but her eyes told another story: obsession, desperation, and hunger. Not for money, not for fame, just for Micheal. She walked across the airport runway with her assistant jogging behind her, trying to keep up. "Ma'am, your hotel," the assistant began. Lucy waved a hand. "Cancel the suite," the assistant blinked. "Cancel it? But..." "I'm not here to relax," Lucy said sharply. "Book me something closer. I want to see everything he does, everywhere he goes." The assistant opened her mouth, closed it, then nodded nervously. "Yes, ma'am." Lucy smirked. Uganda's sun was cruel and bright, but not as cruel as the game she planned to play. She slipped her phone out and whispered, "Soon, Micheal. Soon you'll remember who you loved first." And then, under her breath, "And who deserves you more than that girl?" Later that afternoon, Micheal arrived at the headquarters of his tech company, George Tech Dynamics. The boardroom smelled of cedarwood polish and expensive colognes. The board members, senior, wealthy, respected men, stood as he entered. But something felt off. Joseph, his CFO, avoided eye contact. Aisha, his operations head, sat stiffly, her tablet pressed tight to her chest. "Sit," Micheal instructed. They did. Joseph cleared his throat. "Sir, we have a problem." Aisha opened a folder. "A major one." Micheal leaned back. "Talk." Aisha slid the folder across the table. "A leak, confidential data, investor proposals, strategic plans, even internal team communications." Michael's jaw tightened. "Who?" he asked. "We don't know yet." "But there was more." Joseph's trembling hand said so. "Joseph," Micheal said quietly, "tell me the rest." Joseph swallowed hard. "The files were sent from your personal office system. Someone used your network, your credentials. Sir, the leak came from inside. Inside your company, a trusted circle, his empire." Micheal felt the anger rise like fire. "Find the mole." "We will," Aisha said, "but there's something else." She slid another document forward. "Lucy is back in Kampala." Micheal froze. Lucy, the woman who betrayed him. The woman he thought he'd build a future with. The woman who left him when doctors told him he was sterile, only to reappear after his one-night mistake with Malaika. He hadn't seen her since the confrontation that shattered him when she apologized to Malaika and Michael on their wedding night. He clenched his jaw. "Why is she back?" Aisha hesitated. "She asked to speak with you." "Decline. She said it's urgent." He stood sharply. "I don't care. She's my past." Joseph exchanged a quick glance with Aisha. Aisha added, voice low. "She also said she knows about the pregnancy." Michael's blood ran cold. "What?" she said, and I quote, "Tell Michael he cannot hide from me. I know everything." A cold, nauseating fear settled in Michael's stomach. Lucy was back, and she knew. But how? The betrayal inside his company suddenly felt twice as dangerous. Aisha and Joseph stood outside Michael's office, debating in hushed voices. "We should tell him everything," Aisha insisted. "The leak didn't stop. Files were accessed again last night." Joseph rubbed his temples. "He's dealing with his ex, the pregnancy, the threats. Let's wait." "We can't wait," Aisha snapped. "If the board finds out before he does, we're finished." Joseph lowered his voice. "What if it's someone close to him? Someone he trusts?" Aisha went still. "You think?" Joseph nodded. "We don't have proof yet, but the pattern is too clean, too deliberate." Aisha whispered, afraid of her own words. "Someone wants to destroy him." Malaika sat in the living room, knees pressed to her chest. She hadn't meant to overhear the conversation. She had just picked up the phone to call Micheal when she heard the words that shattered her chest. "Lucy is back." Her heart thudded painfully. Her breath came shallow. Her palms grew cold. Lucy, Micheal's ex. The woman he once loved deeply. Who didn't want him until she realized he wasn't broken. The woman who, she feared, could take him back with a single tear. Malaika pressed a trembling hand to her belly. "I won't let anyone take Micheal from me," she whispered. But even as she said it, memories crept into her mind, memories she buried so deeply that speaking them felt dangerous. Her past wasn't clean, her past wasn't safe, her past wasn't over. And if Lucy returned, then the baby leak came from someone malicious. If someone dug too deeply, her secret could destroy everything. Her hands began shaking. The doorbell rang a sharp, unexpected sound. She gasped, flinching. Slowly, she stood and approached the door. "Who is it?" she asked breathlessly. Silence. Then a male voice, low, threatening, familiar. "Malaika, it's time we talk." Her blood turned to ice. "No, not him. Not now. Not while I'm pregnant." She stepped back, trembling so hard she held the wall to keep from falling. "Malaika," the voice repeated. "You thought you could run forever?" Micheal's car screeched into the underground parking, his heart pounding with fury and fear. The idea of Lucy returning had shaken him, but the idea of anyone threatening Malaika found her near the hallway, sitting on the floor, curled up, shaking uncontrollably. He ran to her. "Baby, what happened? Talk to me." She couldn't speak. Tears streamed down her face. "Malaika, look at me." She looked up, eyes wide with terror. "It was him," she whispered. "Who?" She shook her head violently. "Don't make me say it. Malaika, please," she choked. "Please don't ask." Micheal pulled her into his arms, holding her tighter than he ever had. Whoever this man was, whoever he was to her, he had left her traumatized. And now he had found her. Micheal stroked her hair. "No one is touching you. Not now. Not ever." She clutched his shirt. "I don't want to lose you." "You won't." "But Lucy." Lucy means nothing to me compared to you. She searched his eyes desperately. Do you mean that? With my whole heart. She sobbed against his chest, her fear dissolving slowly into relief. And then she whispered something that made his entire world shift. Micheal, I need you tonight. Completely. Malaika reached for him first, her hands sliding up his chest, fingers trembling but hungry. Her lips brushed his jaw, soft and lingering. I need to feel safe, she whispered. I need you to remind me I'm yours. He cupped her face gently. You are mine, and I'm yours. She leaned into his touch, kissing him slow at first, then deeper, desperate, claiming, needing reassurance only he could give. He lifted her effortlessly, carrying her to the bedroom, laying her down with the softness of a man terrified of losing her. Their bodies intertwined, breaths mingling, hearts racing. Every touch was both comfort and fire. Every kiss was a promise. Every movement said what words couldn't. I choose you. I won't leave. I need you. Her nails slid across his back. His breath hitched, and he whispered her name like a prayer. And in the dark, their fear melted into passion, raw, tender, consuming. When it was over, she rested her head on his chest, breath unsteady, heart calmer. For the first time in days, she slept without trembling. At 7 a.m., Micheal's phone buzzed. A message, unknown number. Meet me tonight, Micheal. You owe me that, Lucy. His chest tightened. Before he could reply, another message came. If you don't come, I'll come to her. His blood froze. Lucy was back and very dangerous. And Lucy was not playing fair. Micheal stared at the message on his phone long after the screen dimmed. Lucy had always been manipulative, but threatening Malaika? That was a new level. He paced the living room, heart pounding with a fury he hadn't felt in years. The idea of Lucy going near Malaika, especially now, while she was vulnerable, anxious, pregnant, made his blood boil. He clenched the phone in his fist. Lucy was a storm he never wanted to see again, but storms had a way of coming back when you least expected. Behind him, Malaika walked slowly into the room, wearing one of his oversized shirts that nearly swallowed her petite frame. Her hair was messy, her steps careful, the exhaustion of fear and pregnancy weighing her down. You couldn't sleep? She asked softly. He turned immediately. I didn't want to wake you. She studied his face. Something's wrong. He hesitated. He didn't want to worry her. Not when she just settled down. Not when her body was already under stress. But she walked to him, slipping her hand into his warm, trembling slightly. Talk to me, she whispered. Please. He looked into her eyes, searching. She trusted him and needed him. And he wouldn't lie to her. Lucy is back, he said quietly. Her breath hitched, though she tried to hide it. And she wants to meet me. Malaika swallowed, throat tight. Are you going? No, he said quickly. Never. She nodded, but he could see the fear behind her eyes, the kind that said things that returned from the past, never return alone. Then she asked the question he dreaded. What else did she say? He exhaled slowly. She threatened to come here. To you. Malaika stiffened, gripping the counter behind her for support. Her face paled. For a moment, he thought she might faint. Malaika? I'm fine, she whispered, but her voice was so faint, it barely held shape. She wasn't fine. He could see it. She pressed a hand to her belly as if shielding the babies. He moved closer. You and our children come first. Always. I'll deal with Lucy. No, she said suddenly. Her voice was soft but stronger than he expected. No? He repeated. She lifted her chin, gentle but determined. A sign of the fire inside her. I don't want you to see her alone, she said firmly. If she wants to meet, then I'm coming too. He blinked. You sure? I'm not afraid of her. But her trembling fingers gave her away. She was afraid of losing him. He cupped her cheek. We'll handle her. Together. She leaned into his touch. Together. But deep down, both of them felt it. Lucy wasn't coming back for closure. She was coming for war. Malaika moved through the penthouse quietly, trying to shake the memory of the voice at the door. The voice she hadn't heard in years. The voice she prayed she'd never hear again. She sat on the couch, pulling her knees close. Her past wasn't just painful, it was dangerous. She had run away from someone who didn't let go. Someone who believed she belonged to him. Someone who didn't handle rejection well. And he had found her. Her breathing grew uneven. Malaika? Baby? She looked up to see Micheal approaching with 2 mugs of ginger tea. He sat beside her, offering one. She held it, with shaking hands. He studied her face. Do you want to tell me who he is? She shook her head violently. No. Malaika. I said no. He flinched slightly, not at the sound, but at the pain behind it. She whispered, softer, I'm trying to protect you. He took her hand. You don't protect me by suffering alone. I'm not strong like you think, she said, voice cracking. Then let me be strong for both of us. Her lip trembled. This man, he doesn't take no for an answer. What does that mean? Micheal asked carefully. She hesitated, eyes filling with tears. Then she whispered, He used to hurt me. Micheal's breath stopped. He understood instantly. Too instantly. His voice changed lower, darker, filled with a fury she had never seen in him before. He will never touch you again, I promise. She leaned into him, tears spilling. I'm scared, Micheal. I know, he whispered, holding her tightly. But he'll have to go through me first. And they both knew. No one could. They went to sleep. That night, Malaika woke with a sharp pain in her lower abdomen. It wasn't normal. She gasped, clutching her stomach, panic tearing through her. Micheal! He shot up instantly, grabbing the lamp. What's wrong? Her face was pale, sweating, her hands pressed desperately against her belly. The babies! Something's wrong! He didn't hesitate. He scooped her into his arms and rushed to the car. Her breaths came quick and ragged. Please don't let anything happen, please. Nothing is happening to you or our babies, he said fiercely. Hold on. They arrived at the hospital in record time. Doctors rushed in. The nurses took her blood pressure. A fetal monitor beeped rapidly. Malaika reached for him as they tried to wheel her away. Don't leave me. I'm right here, he said, squeezing her hand. I'm not going anywhere, she cried softly as they pushed her into the emergency room. He waited outside, pacing like a man with fire in his veins. After what felt like forever, the doctor stepped out. How is she? Micheal demanded. She's stable for now, the doctor said gently, but the stress levels are extremely high. If this continues, it could trigger premature labor. Micheal's heart nearly collapsed. We need to protect her, the doctor added, emotionally and physically. I will, Micheal said, voice shaking. I swear I will. Micheal turned toward the glass window of Malaika's room, just in time to see her sleeping, fragile, exhausted, hooked to IV fluids. He placed a hand on the glass. I won't let anything happen to you, he whispered. I see fatherhood is changing you. Micheal froze. He turned. Lucy stood behind him, arms crossed, eyes sharp and filled with venomous amusement. How did you find us? He hissed. She smirked. You forget what I know about you, about your routines, your habits, your tells. His jaw clenched. Leave. No, she said calmly. Not until we talk. There's nothing to talk about. She stepped closer. Oh, there's plenty, starting with why you replaced me with a girl who can barely handle the pressure of being in your shadow. Micheal moved closer, lowering his voice dangerously. You don't speak about her. Lucy's lips curled. Touched a nerve? He stepped between her and the room door. Lucy, this isn't the time or the place. Oh, I disagree, she said. Since we're already at the hospital, it's fitting, after all. She leaned closer. You'll be right back here when she loses the babies. Micheal's entire body went cold. What did you just say? He growled. Lucy smiled sweetly. You heard me. He took a step forward, voice sharp as a blade. Leave. Now. She tilted her head. Make me. His hands curled into fists, not to hit her, never that, but to keep himself from doing something he'd regret. Lucy walked away slowly, heels clicking. This isn't over, she said without looking back. Not even close. Micheal watched her leave, feeling something he hadn't felt in years. Fear. But he wasn't afraid for himself. He was afraid for Malaika and the babies, for everything he stood to lose. Malaika woke hours later, eyes heavy, body sore. She saw Micheal sitting beside her bed, hands clasped, staring at the floor with a look of devastation she'd never seen on him. Micheal? She whispered. He looked up immediately, relief flooding his face. You're awake. She reached for him weakly. He took her hand, kissing it softly. What happened? She whispered. You had a complication, he said gently. But you and the babies are stable now. Tears pooled in her eyes. I was so scared. Me too. She squeezed his hand tighter. "Stay with me tonight." "I'm not leaving your side." He laid his head gently beside her on the bed, keeping her hand in his. She whispered, "I'm afraid of everything. Lucy, my past. Losing you." He kissed her knuckles. "You're not losing me." "But why does it feel like everything is falling apart?" He lifted his head, eyes burning with determination. "Because someone is trying to break us," he said, "but they won't succeed." Her voice softened. "Promise me." "I promise." But as she drifted back to sleep, Micheal stared at the ceiling, jaw clenched. Lucy had declared war. Malaika's past had found her. Someone inside his company was leaking secrets, and the woman he loved was at risk and carrying his children. There were enemies coming from every direction, and Micheal realized something. Loving Malaika meant protecting her from everything, even if it cost him everything. Later in the evening, she was discharged. Morning sunlight spilled through the curtains, catching dust motes that floated like tiny, aimless stars above the bed. Micheal stirred first, his arm instinctively sliding across the mattress toward Malaika's body. But she wasn't there. He blinked. Her side of the bed was cold. Lately, she had been waking up before him, disappearing into her thoughts before the day even started. He got up slowly, the faint ache in his chest, returning a quiet fear he never spoke of. The fear of losing her, the fear that one day her secrets would snap her away like a thread pulled too tight. He found her in the kitchen. Malaika stood barefoot, in one of his oversized shirts, her hand resting absent-mindedly over her small but growing baby bump. The soft morning light made her look almost unreal, beautiful, fragile, lost. "Malaika," he murmured. She startled slightly, then tried to smile, but her eyes betrayed her. Dark circles, quiet worry. That faraway look she got when memories she hadn't shared came back to haunt her. "Micheal, you're awake early." "You weren't beside me. I couldn't sleep." He stepped behind her, wrapped his arms gently around her waist, and rested his chin on her shoulder. "You're scared again," he whispered. She closed her eyes. "I just had a feeling, like something bad is getting closer." Her voice trembled. He tightened his grip. "I'm here. I'm not going anywhere." But even as he said it, Malaika felt something shift inside her, a twist of dread, as if her past had finally remembered her name. At the same time, across town, Brian, Micheal's business partner, sat in a dimly lit office, scrolling through forged documents, bank transfers, contract rewrites, signatures that looked exactly like Micheal's. He wasn't alone. A man sat across from him, expensive suit, hard eyes, a scar slicing through his left eyebrow. The same man Malaika feared. "You said you could turn Micheal against her," the man said quietly. Brian swallowed. "I'm trying, but he's in love with her, deeply." The man leaned forward. "Everyone has a price, or a weakness." He slid a sealed envelope across the desk. "What's this?" Brian asked. "A way to break both of them," the man said, "and you'll get your company once he falls." Brian hesitated, but greed won. He opened the envelope. Inside was a photo. Malaika long before Micheal, younger, terrified, standing near a car with shattered glass. Police tape in the background. Brian's eyes widened. "What is this?" "Evidence," the man said. "A crime she witnessed, maybe committed. Use it how you like." Brian suddenly understood. A way to trap Micheal, destroy him emotionally, and manipulate him into signing the final betrayal papers. He smirked. "This will ruin them both." Malaika curled up against Micheal on the bed, tears drying against his chest. He held her tightly, stroking her hair, heart thundering with rage and worry. "Why didn't you tell me any of this?" he asked softly. "Because loving you felt like my first safe place," she whispered, "and I didn't want to stain it." He tilted her head up, eyes tender but burning with intensity. "Nothing you say could ever make me love you less." Malaika clutched Micheal's shirt, trembling. Her breath came in short, frightened bursts. Her other hand instinctively guarded her belly. "Malaika, stay behind me," Micheal whispered firmly. He slid off the bed, grabbed the small metal rod he kept beside the wardrobe, the closest thing to a weapon they had, and moved toward the living room. The knocking resumed. Not a visitor, not a neighbor, not a delivery. A threat. Malaika stood in the hallway, heart hammering, watching him walk toward danger. Her mind raced. "If it's him, he found me. He really found me." Micheal reached the door. "Who is it?" he barked. A moment of silence, then a voice soft, too calm, too casual. "Relax, it's me. Open the door." Michael froze. That voice, that tone. He slowly unlocked the bolts and swung the door open. Lucy, hair perfect, makeup flawless, a confidence dripping with poison. But she wasn't smiling. She was furious. She looked past Michael immediately, and her eyes landed on Malaika behind him. "Oh, she's here." Her lip curled. How convenient. Malaika felt her stomach twist. This was the worst time. The absolute worst. "Lucy," Michael said sharply, "what are you doing here? I told you not to come." "Well," Lucy snapped, stepping inside without permission, "you hung up on me, and we have unfinished business." Micheal blocked her path, refusing to let her get near Malaika. "There's nothing to discuss." Lucy laughed a sharp, bitter sound. "Oh my love, you haven't even heard the news yet." Malaika flinched. Her fingers tightened in Micheal's shirt. Lucy's voice was venomous. "I'm pregnant." Silence hit the room like a bomb. Malaika stopped breathing. Michael's face went blank, shock freezing him, but Lucy wasn't done. "And before you say anything, yes, it's yours." "Are you joking?" Micheal said. Malaika's legs weakened. A cold wave swept over her body. She whispered, "No, no, that's not possible." Lucy's eyes narrowed cruelly. "You think he was celibate before you? You think men suddenly change? Don't be naive." Malaika stumbled back, hand covering her mouth. Micheal's shock transformed into rage. "Lucy, stop," his voice thundered. "Don't you dare talk to her like that." "Why not?" Lucy hissed. "She's the reason you abandoned me. She stole you. She ruined everything I built." "Lucy," he shouted, "I never belonged to you." Lucy's expression cracked. She hadn't expected that. Her bravado faltered. Her voice dropped. "Micheal, you can't walk away from your child." "Lucy," he said, breathing hard, "we haven't been together for over a year." "But we slept together." She shot back, eyes burning. 6 months ago, you remember." Malaika's heart shattered. Micheal's face twisted confusion, guilt, realization. "We were over," he said quietly. "I told you it was a mistake. I told you not to come back." Lucy stepped closer, lowering her voice. "You don't get it." Her eyes flicked to Malaika's belly. "You have 2 babies now, one from your past and one from mine. Plus the unborn twins." Malaika felt her stomach clench in pain. Not jealousy, not insecurity, a real sharp pain. "Micheal," she whispered weakly, I don't feel right." He turned instantly, panic overtaking every other emotion. "Malaika? Baby, what's wrong?" The pain intensified, shooting through her abdomen. She gasped, doubling over. "I think..." Her breath hitched. "I think something's wrong with the babies." Michael grabbed her before she collapsed. Lucy took a step back, shocked at the sudden fear on his face, the raw love. "Move!" Micheal barked at her. He lifted Malaika into his arms. Her head leaned weakly against his chest. "Stay with me," he whispered. "Stay with me, please." Lucy stood, frozen, jealousy burning her lungs, watching the man she wanted throw his entire world into saving another woman. "Micheal!" She tried to call after him, but he didn't even turn around. He carried Malaika out the door, leaving Lucy standing in the living room alone in her lies. Malaika winced in pain with every bump in the road. Tears streamed down her face. "Micheal, I'm scared." I know," he whispered, voice cracking. "I'm here." He kept one hand on the wheel, the other holding her shaking fingers. "Don't leave me, Malaika," he choked out. "Don't leave our child." She looked at him through blurry eyes. "You still want us?" Her voice was barely audible. He stared at her, devastated she could even ask. "I want you," he said fiercely. "I love you. I choose you." Nothing Lucy says changes anything. Her tears fell harder. A contraction like pain ripped through her abdomen. "Micheal, I'm speeding the babies. Stay with me," she screamed in pain. And for the first time in years, Micheal cried silently, desperately, because the woman he loved was breaking in his arms. While Micheal rushed Malaika to the hospital, a black SUV stopped outside his gate. The man with the scar, the one Malaika feared, stepped out. He approached the house slowly, saw the door half open, saw Lucy inside. Lucy turned, startled. "Who are you?" He smiled cold, slow, dangerous. "A friend of Malaika." Lucy blinked. "I didn't know she had friends." "Oh," he murmured, stepping closer. "She doesn't." He reached into his coat. Lucy's face went pale. "Wait, what do you want?" He stopped in front of her, towering over her. "I'm here for Malaika," he said calmly, "and anyone who protects her." Lucy's heart stumbled, because in that instant, she realized she wasn't the biggest threat in the story. She was just collateral. Doctors rushed Malaika into an emergency room. Micheal tried to follow, but they blocked him. "Sir, please wait." "That's my wife," he shouted. "She's pregnant. She's in pain. Let me in. Sir, she's in critical condition." The words hit him like gunshots. His knees almost buckled. He pressed his palms to the door window, watching as nurses connected machines, checked her vitals, and tried to stabilize her. "Malaika," he whispered, voice breaking. "You promised me forever. Don't take it away." His phone buzzed. He ignored it. It buzzed again. He checked. One message from an unknown number. "We have her secret, and we're coming next for you." Michael's blood ran cold. The danger wasn't just Malaika's anymore. It was his. It was theirs. And it was already here. Lucy tried to back away from the scarred man, her heels clicking sharply on the tile floor. "I don't know who you are," she stammered, "but I'm calling security." He smiled slow, knowing. "You're not going to do that. Watch me." He reached out and shut the door behind her with a soft click that somehow felt louder than a gunshot. Lucy froze. Something about his presence was suffocating. Not loud, not aggressive, just deadly calm. "You came here looking for Micheal," he said. "And I came here looking for Malaika. She's not here." Lucy snapped. "They left in a hurry. Something happened with her pregnancy." The man's expression didn't change, but something in his eyes sharpened. "Good," he murmured. "She'll be weaker now." Lucy's throat tightened. "What do you want with her?" He reached into his coat, and Lucy flinched, but he only pulled out a photo. He held it to her face. A younger Malaika. Blood on her clothes, tears on her cheeks, standing beside a wrecked car and a body covered with a sheet. Lucy's breath caught. "She witnessed something," the man said softly, "and she's been running ever since." Lucy's voice trembled. She didn't tell Micheal." "I know." He slipped the photo back into his jacket. "That's why I'll tell him myself." Lucy shook her head quickly. "No, if you hurt him, he'll never forgive her. He'll never trust her again." "That is the point," he said simply. Her stomach dropped. "You want to destroy their relationship? I want to collect what she owes me." "And what does she owe?" Lucy whispered. His smile was razor thin. "Obedience." Lucy felt the room tilt. She thought she was the storm, the danger, the one who could ruin their lives. But standing in front of this man, she realized she had never been the villain. She was just another pawn. He stepped closer, lowering his voice like a blade sliding across her skin. "When Micheal returns, tell him I came." Lucy shook her head violently. "No, I'm not dragging myself into this." "You already are," he murmured. "You opened the door." And with that, he walked out, disappearing into the night, like a shadow returning to the dark. Lucy sank onto the couch, trembling. For the first time, she wasn't thinking about revenge, or jealousy, or her pregnancy. She was thinking about survival. Micheal paced the corridor like a caged animal. Every second felt like a lifetime. He wanted to break open the door. He wanted to fight whoever hurt her. He wanted to hold her and tell her she was safe, but he could do nothing. His phone buzzed again. This time, it was Brian. He almost ignored it until he saw the preview of the message. "We need to talk. It's about the company and about Malaika." Micheal's stomach tightened. He opened the message. Brian had sent a picture. The same picture the scarred man had shown Lucy. Malaika, blood, trauma, fear. His world tilted. Then another message came, "Come alone," or more of these surface. For one moment, Micheal couldn't breathe. Not because of the image, not because of the threat, but because of what it meant. She had suffered, been hunted, been carrying this alone. His hands shook with rage. And then the door to the emergency ward finally opened. A doctor stepped out, seriously, exhausted, concerned. Micheal rushed forward. "Is she okay? Are the babies okay? Please tell me." The doctor lifted a hand. "She's stable now," he said softly. Micheal collapsed into the nearest chair, head falling forward as a tear escaped. Relief. Crushing. Overwhelming relief. "But," the doctor added, "there were complications." Micheal froze. "What complications?" "She experienced stress. Triggered contractions early and dangerous. We've stopped them for now, but she's not out of danger." Micheal's heart shattered. "Can I see her?" "In a moment," the doctor said. "She's asking for you." Those words nearly broke him. The room was dim when he entered. Malaika lay on the bed, an IV in her arm, monitors quietly, beeping around her. Her skin was pale, her lips dry. Her eyes were tired but searching. When she saw Micheal, she exhaled shakily. Micheal. He was by her side in an instant. He grabbed her hand, lifted it to his lips, kissed it like a prayer. "I thought I lost you," he whispered. Tears welled in her eyes. "I'm sorry. I didn't mean to scare you." He shook his head, leaning his forehead against hers. "Don't apologize. Just stay with me." Her fingers threaded slowly through his hair. Her touch is weak but loving. Then her voice cracked. Did she tell you?" He stiffened. "I don't care about Lucy," he said fiercely. "I only care about you." She closed her eyes slowly, exhausted. "Micheal, what if she's telling the truth? What if she's lying?" He cut in firmly. "I know when someone is manipulating me. And I know you didn't destroy us. She did." She opened her eyes, tears falling silently. "You chose me?" He cupped her face gently. "I will keep choosing you," he whispered. "No matter what you've run from, no matter who comes for us, no matter what you haven't told me yet." Her lip trembled, and in that fragile moment, bruised by fear, shaken by danger, held together only by love, she leaned forward and kissed him. Soft, slow, desperate. His hands framed her cheeks, kissing her deeply but gently. Mindful of her fragile state, their tears mixed. His forehead pressed against hers, their breaths mingling. "Rest," he whispered. "I'm here." "I'm scared," she confessed. "I'll carry your fear with mine," he said. "Just don't leave me." She drifted into sleep, peaceful. For the first time in days, her fingers locked around his hand. He watched her, torn between love and fury. Whoever had threatened her, whoever had sent the photo, whoever had sent that message, they had crossed a line. And Micheal was ready to burn the world for her. Micheal heard footsteps. He turned. Lucy stood in the hallway, face pale, eyes shaken, voice trembling. "Micheal, we need to talk." He stiffened instantly. "Lucy," he snapped quietly. "This is not the time." "It is," she whispered urgently, "because you're not just dealing with me." He paused, her eyes filled with real fear. Not jealousy, not rage, fear. "There's a man," she whispered. "He's looking for Malaika. He came to your house. He showed me pictures, ugly pictures, dangerous ones." Micheal's blood ran cold. "He said he's coming, back for her," Lucy whispered. "And for you." Micheal stared at her the first time he had ever seen her truly frightened. "Who is he?" he asked. Lucy swallowed painfully. "I don't know, but he scares me more than losing you ever did." Micheal's chest tightened. A storm was coming. A real one. One that could take everything from him, everything from her, everything from their unborn children. He looked back at the door where Malaika slept, then at Lucy, then at his phone with Brian's threatening message, still open. 3 enemies, 1 fragile woman, Junior, and their 2 unborn babies. 1 man ready to fight, and he whispered to himself, "Let the war begin." For a long moment, Micheal stood frozen in the dark hallway. Lucy's perfume still lingering, faintly in the air, a cruel reminder of everything he wished he could erase. His hands were shaking, not because of Lucy's words, but because one thought kept beating against his ribs. If Malaika heard anything, if she misunderstood, I could lose her. He forced himself to move, slow and heavy, toward the bed. He forced himself to move, slow and heavy, towards the bed. When he opened the door, he found Malaika sitting on the edge of the bed. Her back was straight, her hands folded tightly, her eyes shining with tears she refused to let fall. She looked too calm, and that was how Micheal knew the volcano beneath her skin was about to erupt. "Malaika, sweetheart," he whispered, heart racing. She didn't look at him immediately. Instead, Her voice came out low, controlled, frighteningly steady. "Tell me the truth, Micheal. Every single piece." He sat beside her slowly, not touching her yet. She was too stiff, too wound up. "Malaika," he said softly. "She found me. I didn't call her back." Malaika closed her eyes. "I know, I saw." Micheal inhaled sharply. So she walked out and witnessed it. "Malaika, please." She held up her hand. Not angrily, not dramatically, just tired. "Just tell me everything," she whispered. So he did. He told her about Lucy's sudden appearance, the claims about the pregnancy, the fear, manipulation, the attempt to guilt him. He shared every detail except one, the part he feared would destroy her, the part he still didn't understand, the part where Lucy said, "I know what Malaika's hiding. Ask her about 2019. That sentence he couldn't say. Not yet. Not until he understood. When he finished, Malaika finally looked at him, slow, trembling, heartbreak written in her eyes. "Why would she come here, Micheal? Why would she tell me she's carrying your child?" Her voice cracked. Her hardest moment yet. Micheal reached for her hands. This time, she let him hold them, but her fingers were cold, tense. "She's lying," Micheal said firmly. "Manipulating, trying to control me again. I don't want her. I want you. Only you." Her lips quivered, the bravest part of her fighting not to collapse. Then finally, she broke. Tears spilled over silently, and she leaned into him as if something inside her finally gave up trying to stay strong alone. His arms wrapped around her instantly, pulling her against his chest. "I'm scared, Micheal," she whispered. "Scared of losing you, scared of being pregnant, scared of my past, scared of everything." He kissed her forehead gently. "You're not losing me," he murmured. "Not today. Not ever." But Malaika stiffened again. Her breathing changed, her heartbeat racing against his chest. "Micheal." He lifted her chin gently. Her eyes were not just sad now, they were haunted. "There's something you need to know," she whispered. His stomach dropped. "I didn't want to tell you yet. Not like this. But Lucy, if she knows something, then it's only a matter of time before she uses it to hurt us." "Malaika," Micheal said softly, "what is it?" She looked away. "I wasn't always like this. Soft, loving, trying to start over." "What do you mean?" She swallowed hard. "In 2019, I did something that almost cost me my life. And if the truth comes out, it could cost me you." Micheal's grip on her tightened. "Look at me." She turned slowly, eyes wet. "There is nothing in this world," he said firmly, "that will make me leave you." She tried to smile but couldn't. "You say that now," she whispered, "but you don't know the story yet." The confession hung between them, heavy, dangerous, almost too fragile to touch. But their bodies moved before their minds did. Malaika climbed into his lap slowly, her knees on either side of him, her forehead against his. The closeness, the pain, the desperation, it all ignited something deep. "Micheal," she whispered, voice trembling. "I need you. I need to feel like you're still mine." He cupped her face gently. "I've always been yours." Their kiss was slow at first, soft, trembling, tasting of fear and devotion. Then it deepened and turned hungry, turned into a silent promise that said, "We fight this together." His hand slid down her back. Her fingers threaded into his hair. Her breath hitched as their bodies pressed, closer. Warmth, replacing fear. For a moment, there was no Lucy. No secret, no betrayal. No danger, just two souls trying to hold on to each other so tightly the world couldn't rip them apart. After the intensity settled, Malaika lay in his arms, breathing softly, tracing circles on his chest. Then she whispered, "Micheal, if you want the truth about 2019, I'm ready to tell you." He kissed her temple. "Tell me," she inhaled shakily. "It started in Nairobi, with a man named Kato, and the night something went horribly wrong." The room was quiet. The kind of quiet that makes a truth feel heavier. Malaika lay on Micheal's chest, listening to his heartbeat, slow, steady, grounding. She needed that steadiness, because what she was about to tell him could shatter everything. "Micheal," she whispered, "promise me you'll listen until the end." He brushed his thumb gently along her arm. "I promise," she swallowed hard. "In 2019, I was living in Nairobi, and I wasn't the woman you know now. I was lost." He didn't interrupt. He held her tighter. "Kato," she said, voice trembling, "was older, powerful, the kind of man people warned me about, but I ignored because the danger felt like excitement." Micheal's jaw tensed slightly, but he kept silent. "At first, he made me feel seen, protected, wanted." Her voice cracked, but it didn't take long for me to realize he didn't love me. He owned me. Michael's fingers curled around her hand. He controlled where I went, who I talked to, what I wore. And I thought, maybe that was love. I was young, virgin and stupid. "Malaika," Michael whispered, "you weren't stupid." She shivered, then continued. "But it got worse. He was involved in things I didn't understand. Money laundering, fake import companies, shady people. One night, he forced me to go with him to close a deal. He said I was his good luck." Her breath shook. That night, everything changed. She sat up slowly, wrapping the blanket around her shoulders like a shield. We drove to an abandoned warehouse outside the city. It was supposed to be a quick meeting, but the men inside were furious. They claimed Kato stole money from them. Millions. Her voice dropped to barely a whisper. They pulled out guns. I froze. Kato grabbed me and pushed me in front of him like I was nothing. Like a shield. Micheal swore under his breath, fists tightening. One of the men fired a warning shot. Everything happened so fast. I fell. Kato ran. He left me there. They thought I was hit, that I wasn't a threat, so they chased him instead. Malaika's eyes filled with tears she'd held for years. When the police came, they questioned me. They thought I was involved. My passport was held. There were rumors, accusations. My name appeared on reports. If anyone ever looked deep enough, they'd think I was part of that syndicate. She wiped her cheek. I escaped Nairobi with a borrowed ID. I changed everything, my life, my friends, even my dreams. I've been building myself from ashes ever since. Micheal's breath hitched. He expected pain, but not this. Malaika waited. She expected him to pull away, to look at her differently, to question, to doubt, to fear. But Micheal slowly reached out, cupped her face, and whispered, "Look at me." She lifted her trembling eyes. Then he said the words she never believed she'd hear. "Your past doesn't scare me. Your secrets don't scare me. Losing you does." Her breath broke into a sob, soft, painful, relieved. "Micheal." He pulled her into his arms, again, wrapping her in warmth she didn't know she deserved. "You were a victim," he said firmly. "Not a criminal. Not part of that world. And anyone who tries to twist that story will answer to me." Her tears fell on his shoulder. "I thought you'd leave." "I'm not going anywhere." He lifted her chin. His face was close, his voice deep. "From today," he said, "no more secrets between us." She nodded slowly. "And from today," he continued, "nobody, not Lucy, not your past, not anyone will come between us." Her heart pounded. "Do you hear me, Malaika?" "Yes," she whispered. He kissed her deeply, slow, claiming protective. Not the desperate kiss from earlier. This one was grounding, unshakable, a promise. Their bodies pressed close, warm under the night, breath mingling, hands exploring each other with new meaning, not lust alone, but healing, reassurance, and connection. Just when peace settled, Micheal's phone buzzed on the nightstand. He ignored it. It buzzed again and again, 3 times. Finally, he picked it up with mild irritation until he saw the sender. "David, urgent. Check your company account right now." His blood ran cold. He opened the banking app. Malaika watched his expression shift from concern to shock to rage. "Michael, what's wrong?" He turned the phone toward her. A large bank transfer. $420,000 withdrawn. Not authorized, not scheduled. Gone. And below it, transaction initiated by El Kasozi. Malaika gasped. "Lucy." No, this wasn't a love triangle problem anymore. This wasn't jealousy. This was war. For a long second, Micheal didn't move. He just stared at the phone screen, jaw clenched so tightly the veins in his neck stood out. $420,000. Gone. Not by mistake, not by a system glitch, but by someone who had, His account access inside knowledge, his old passwords, and a reason to hurt him. Lucy Kasozi. Micheal, Malaika whispered, hand trembling on his arm. How could she do this? He took a slow, shaky breath, the kind a man takes right before something inside him snaps. She didn't do this alone, he said. Lucy isn't smart enough to hack my accounts. She had help inside my company. His voice dropped low. Dangerous. And I know exactly who. He grabbed his laptop, fingers flying across the keyboard. Malaika sat beside him, scared but steady, her presence grounding him. Within minutes, Micheal pulled up the internal logs. There it was. The access session wasn't from Lucy's device. It was from an office computer in his own building. Logging in with clearance, only 2 people had. Him and his operations manager, Alex. Malaika covered her mouth. Alex? But he's been with you for years. Why? Micheal's face hardened. Lucy must have gotten him on her side. Money, threats, something. Alex is the one who handled payroll. He had access to everything. His phone buzzed again. David. Bro, Alex didn't show up today. HR says he cleared his desk, left the country this afternoon. Malaika's eyes widened. He ran. He actually ran. Micheal stood up abruptly. No, Lucy made him run. He grabbed his jacket. Malaika reached for his wrist. Micheal, don't go after her alone. He turned to her, eyes dark with a mix of fury and fear. She stole nearly $500,000. She lied about a pregnancy. She's threatening your past. And now she's using my company's own staff to attack me. Micheal, I'm not letting her get away with this. She stood quickly, intending to follow him, but the moment she rose, her breath caught. A sharp pain shot across her lower abdomen. She gasped, clutching the edge of the bed. Micheal spun around instantly. Malaika, what is it? I don't know, she whispered, bending slightly. It's like a cramp, but stronger. Panic slammed into him harder than Lucy's betrayal. He rushed to her, guiding her to the bed. Is it the babies? Malaika, talk to me. I just need a minute. But her face twisted in pain again. This wasn't normal. Not this early. Not this intense. Malaika, he said urgently, we're going to the hospital. No, I'm fine. He lifted her gently, refusing to hear anything else. You're not fine. I'm not losing you. I'm not losing our babies. We're going. She didn't fight him. She couldn't. The pain was tightening again, sharper. Her voice shook. Micheal, something's wrong. His heart shattered. I know, he whispered, holding her close. But I've got you. They arrived fast, and the nurses moved even faster when they heard pregnancy pain. Malaika was taken to an examination room. Micheal couldn't go inside during the ultrasound, which tore him apart. He paced the hallway, running a hand through his hair 1,000 times. His phone kept buzzing. Lucy calling, Alex's number off. David texting updates. But Micheal ignored everything. Nothing mattered, except the woman behind that door. Nothing. Finally, the doctor stepped out, a woman in her mid-40s with tired eyes but a calm voice. Micheal? Yes, how is she? Are the babies okay? The doctor exhaled slowly. She isn't miscarrying. That's the good news. He nearly collapsed with relief. But the words stabbed deeper than a knife. There's irritation around the uterine lining. It could develop into a complication if not monitored. What kind of complication? It's early to confirm, but given her stress levels, emotional strain, and physical tension, she's at risk of threatened preterm complications later. Micheal swallowed hard. She needs rest. She needs peace. No emotional shocks. No fights. No chasing drama. And definitely no sudden stress. The doctor's eyes softened. Whatever is happening in her life right now, it has to stop. Immediately. Micheal closed his eyes. Lucy. The betrayal. The secrets. Everything was tearing Malaika apart. And if he wasn't careful, he could lose her. When the nurse wheeled Malaika back, she looked pale but conscious. Micheal. He knelt beside her, taking her hand. It's okay, he whispered. The babies are okay, but we have to be careful, very careful. Her eyes filled again. I'm sorry. No, he cut her off gently. You don't apologize for being pregnant, for hurting, for being stressed. This is on me. for letting people like Lucy into our lives. Micheal. But he leaned close, his forehead touching hers. I'm going to protect you, Junior, and our unborn babies, no matter what. She squeezed his hand, and then softly, what about the money? The betrayal? His eyes darkened. I'll handle that quietly. I won't let you carry that stress. Malaika stared at him, but she didn't know the storm was coming next, because at that exact moment, Lucy sent him a voice note. Automatic transcription popped up on the lock screen, and it said, if you want the rest of your money, meet me tomorrow, alone, at the place where we first met. Michael's blood ran cold, because the place they first met, it wasn't romantic, wasn't innocent, and wasn't safe. Micheal played the voice note silently in his mind as he stared at the words, meet me tomorrow, alone, at the place where we first met. He hadn't thought about that place in years. He didn't want to. That place wasn't just where he met Lucy, it was where he almost ruined his life a long time ago. Malaika noticed the change in his face. Micheal, what is it? He quickly locked the screen. Nothing you should worry about right now, he said gently. Her eyes narrowed, slightly soft but sharp. She knew him too well. Don't lie to me, he swallowed. Malaika, the doctor said you need to be calm. You need to rest. I asked you a question. Her voice was quiet but firm, the strength inside her showing through the fear. Micheal sighed, sitting on the edge of the bed. It's Lucy. She wants to meet me tomorrow. Malaika's fingers tightened around the blanket. Where? He hesitated. Where? She repeated. He finally said, the Red Lounge. Malaika froze. Michael, that place is dangerous. Isn't that where? He nodded. Yes, where I first met her, and where she pulled me into the ugliest part of her world. Malaika watched him, waiting. Michael rarely talked about the past, but tonight, something cracked open. He leaned back, eyes darkening with memory. It was years ago, before I built my company, before I had anything. I was young, stupid, lonely. He inhaled sharply. The Red Lounge wasn't just a lounge, it was a hub for deals, bribes, rich men looking for trouble, and women hired to make them feel invincible. Lucy wasn't one of the working girls, but she pretended to be in charge of them. Malaika blinked. She was a madam? Not exactly. More like a recruiter or pimp. She targeted men who looked desperate or ambitious. She knew how to manipulate, how to charm, how to trap. He rubbed his forehead. She introduced me to people I shouldn't have met. Businessmen who weren't really businessmen, investors who used money to hide, illegal trade. I almost got involved with one of their schemes. Malaika exhaled sharply. Micheal. I got out, he said firmly. Before anything happened, Malaika took his hand. Micheal, if you go there alone, I have to. You don't. He looked at her. You're pregnant. The doctor warned you. I'm fine, she whispered, but I won't let you face her trap alone. He touched her cheek softly. Malaika, listen to me. I need you safe. This girl is unpredictable. She's playing a game she's been planning for years. I can't risk you. Her voice trembled. I don't want to lose you. You won't. She searched his face, debating, then finally nodded. But then she whispered something that made his heart twist. Promise me you won't let her twist your mind again. Promise me you won't let her use your weaknesses. He tilted her chin up gently. I don't have weaknesses anymore. He kissed her forehead. But if I did, you'd be the one. She closed her eyes, leaning into him. A nurse entered to discharge Malaika. As Michael helped her dress, Malaika reached for her handbag, but it wasn't on the counter. Nurse, she asked softly, where's my bag? The nurse frowned. I left it right there. They searched the room, then the hallway. Nothing. Malaika's heart rate spiked. My phone was inside, she whispered. And my ID, Michael? He stiffened. No one just steals a bag inside a hospital. Not like this. Malaika's lips parted in fear. Micheal, she whispered. What if someone was looking something in it? He inhaled sharply, realization hitting him. Malaika, what was in your bag? Anything connected to Nairobi? To 2019? She froze. Yes, her old SIM card, the one she never threw away. With numbers and messages from that life, her voice cracked. Micheal, someone is following me. His entire body went cold. This wasn't a rivalry. This wasn't jealousy. This wasn't a woman scorned. This was criminal. This was planned. This was connected to her past. And his. The doctor's warning about stress echoed in his head. But what choice did they have? He took both of Malaika's shaking hands. "Listen to me," he said quietly but firmly. "This isn't Lucy acting alone. Someone bigger is behind this. Someone who knows your past. Someone who wants to hurt us both." Malaika swallowed. "Kato? I don't know. Maybe. Or someone connected to him." She trembled, and he pulled her into his arms. "I'm not letting anything happen to you." His voice was deep, steady, lethal. "I will meet Lucy tomorrow. I will find Alex. I will find whoever stole your bag. And I will end this. Michael. But you," he said, lifting her chin, "must stay home. Rest. For you and the babies." Her eyes filled. "I'm scared." "I know." He kissed her forehead. "But we face this together." She pressed, her face to his chest, letting his warmth calm her trembling body. Much later, when they finally reached home, Malaika showered slowly, while Michael stayed close, checking every window, every door. She stepped out wearing one of his shirts, hair damp, face tired but beautiful. He pulled her into bed gently, holding her from behind. "Sleep, baby," he whispered. She did, but Michael didn't. He stayed awake, watching the shadows crawl on the walls. And at 3:17 a.m., his security camera notification flashed on his phone. He opened the app. His blood froze. Someone was standing outside the gate, a dark figure, not moving, just staring at the house. Micheal zoomed in. A man, tall, wearing a hoodie. But what made Micheal's stomach drop was the object in the man's hand. A handbag. Malaika's handbag. Michael didn't sleep that night. Not because of fear, but because Malaika was asleep on his chest, her breath warm, her fingers curled into his shirt like she was afraid he might disappear. Moonlight spilled across her face, softening the tension she tried so hard to hide. He watched her, memorizing everything, the tiny scar on her brow, the slight frown she wore even in dreams, the way she clung to him, as if love itself frightened her. He had rising love. She had rising fear. Night settled over the city like a suffocating blanket. Michael sat by the bed where Malaika slept, every muscle in his body rigid with fear and fury. He had bandaged her wounds, stroked her hair until she calmed, and watched her breathing even out. But inside him, a storm raged. He had little time. A threat, a dangerous man, a woman he loved who was hunted, and a company being sabotaged from the shadows. He leaned forward, brushing his lips softly against her knuckles. "I'm not losing you," he whispered. But the night wasn't giving him peace. A knock shattered the silence. Not loud, not frantic, just deliberate. Michael grabbed the nearest heavy object, a metal lamp, and approached the door cautiously. When he opened it, a small box sat on the floor. He brought it inside, opened it carefully, and his blood iced. Inside was a necklace, Malaika's old necklace, the one she told him she left behind when she ran away years ago. And a note: "If you care for her, give her up. She survived once, she won't survive again." Michael crushed the paper in his fist. Something inside him changed. Not fear, a lethal kind of resolve. In the morning, Micheal decided to go meet Lucy. As he drove towards Lucy, his phone buzzed. A message from Malaika's phone, but the text wasn't hers. "If you want to see her alive, come alone." 8 p.m., the old warehouse at the pier. A picture followed. Malaika unconscious, tied to a banderole. Chair, blood on her lip. Michael almost screamed. The man had taken her. Already. And Michael had left her alone to meet Lucy. His chest was constricted with guilt, rage, terror. He stepped on the accelerator. No police, no hesitation, no fear. Just one goal: get her back or die trying. Michael drove like a man possessed. Red lights became suggestions. Speed limits became jokes. Fear became fuel. The image of Malaika tied to that chair burned in his mind. Her head hanging, her lip bloody, her body helpless. He gripped the steering wheel so hard his knuckles whitened. "I'm coming, baby. Hold on." The night air felt colder as he reached the abandoned pier. Waves crashed angrily against the metal pillars. The warehouse loomed like a hungry beast, dark, silent, waiting. Michael stepped inside. Only dim lights flickered from a single bulb. The air smelled of rust, dust, and danger. Then a slow clap echoed in the shadows. He stepped forward until the man emerged from the darkness. Tall, sharp suit, predatory eyes. The man who once owned Malaika's life. "Micheal," he said smoothly. "I expected someone more careful." Micheal barely heard him. His eyes landed on Malaika, tied to the chair, wrist bound, ankle strapped, tape across her lips. Her eyes were open now, wide with fear and fury. Michael's heart twisted at the sight of her. The man smirked. "You came alone. Good. Love makes people stupid." Micheal stepped forward slowly. "Let her go." The man chuckled. "Do you order everyone you meet, or only the women you bed?" Micheal didn't rise to the bait. "What do you want?" "To finish what I started," the man said, circling Malaika like a wolf marking prey. "She ran from me, embarrassed me, stole what was mine." "She's not a thing," Micheal growled. "She's a person, and she doesn't belong to you." The man raised a brow. "Yet she lies to you. You know almost nothing about her. And still, you risk your life?" "I don't risk my life," Micheal said quietly. "I offer it." The man paused. Then he laughed. "You truly love her?" Michael's jaw clenched. "Yes. And what if she's not who you think she is?" Micheal stared him dead in the eyes. "I don't care who she was. I know who she is now." A flicker of anger crossed the man's face. Suddenly, Malaika jerked violently against the ropes, trying to free herself. The chair scraped across the floor. "Malaika, stop!" Micheal started, but she wasn't trying to escape. She was trying to warn him. The man moved faster than Micheal expected, pulling out a gun and aiming it at her head. "Move and I shoot." Micheal froze. Malaika's eyes widened, pleading silently for him to stay still, for him not to die. The villain smirked. "You see, Micheal, this is simple. I'll give you a choice." He tilted the gun towards Micheal. "You leave now. Forget her. And she lives." Micheal didn't move. "Or," the man continued, lowering the gun to Malaika's chest, "you refuse, and her blood is on your hands." Micheal stepped forward slowly. "Shoot me." The villain blinked. Malaika's muffled scream burst behind the tape. Michael's voice was steady, cold, ready. "You want revenge? Take it on me. I'm the one in your way, not her." The man studied him carefully. "You'd die for her?" Micheal didn't even think. "I will." Malaika's tears flowed freely. The villain exhaled slowly. Gun still raised. "I wondered why she ran from me," he said softly. "Now I see. You have something I never had." "Love," Micheal said. "Yes," the man said darkly. "And that makes you more dangerous than I expected." The man fired. But not at Micheal, at the chain holding a metal beam above him. Micheal dove just as the heavy structure crashed down where he'd stood. Dust and metal flew everywhere. The villain lunged. Micheal tackled him hard, the gun skittering across the floor. They crashed into crates, fists flying, rage exploding. The man was trained fast, precise, brutal. Micheal fought with something fiercer, pure, desperate love. Every punch had a purpose. To get to her, to save her, to survive for her. The villain slammed Micheal into a concrete pillar. Pain shot up his back. Micheal swung back, connecting with the man's jaw. They were evenly matched until the villain grabbed a metal pipe. He swung. Micheal ducked. The pipe smashed through glass behind him. "You think you can take what's mine?" the villain roared. Micheal spit blood. "She was never yours." The villain raised the pipe again, but a cracked scream echoed the moment Malaika threw herself sideways, kicking her chair hard until it toppled. The distraction was enough. Micheal seized the pipe mid-swing and slammed it into the man's ribs. The villain hit the floor. Micheal pressed the pipe against his throat. "Touch her again, and I won't stop." The villain struggled, gasping. "You're too late." Micheal frowned. "What?" "Your company." The villain coughed. "Your partner, Daniel. He sold everything. I own it now." Michael's blood froze. "You're lying." "Check the contracts," the villain smirked. "Your empire is mine, and soon she will be too." Micheal hit him hard enough to knock him out cold. Heart still pounding, he rushed to Malaika. "Malaika, baby, I'm here." He untied her, peeled the tape from her lips gently. She collapsed into his arms, sobbing into his chest. "I thought you'd die," she cried. He held her tightly, kissing her hair, her forehead, her trembling mouth. "I'd die for you," he whispered. but I won't leave you. Their kiss was desperate, passionate, shaking relief, terror, love crashing together. He lifted her in his arms. We're leaving. Tonight. Together. She clung to him. Michael, I love you. He kissed her deeply. I love you too, and I'm not letting anyone take you away. The night air outside the warehouse tasted like freedom, cold, sharp, and temporary. Michael carried Malaika to the car, his arms strong around her trembling body. She held on to him with quiet desperation, her cheek against his chest, inhaling him like she needed to confirm he was real. But just as Michael laid her in the passenger seat and shut the door, something gnawed at him. Daniel's message. They're coming for you. A fresh wave of suspense crept in. Someone bigger than her ex. Someone with resources. Someone using Daniel. Someone who had just taken over his company. Michael slipped into the driver's seat. Malaika reached for his hand immediately. Michael, you're shaking. He didn't hide it. He didn't know how to. Malaika, he said quietly, this is bigger than I realized. Her fingers tightened around his. Whatever it is, we face it together. He leaned over, kissed her gently soft, but full of promise. Together, he whispered. Then he started the engine. Michael didn't take her to his penthouse. That was the first place they'd look. Instead, he took her to a private condo he rarely used, hidden in a quiet part of town, known only to him and one person, his late father. It was safe. He carried Malaika upstairs when he saw she was too weak to walk properly. Inside, he sat her on the couch, but she clung to his shirt. Don't leave me, she whispered. I'm not going anywhere, he promised. He sat with her, easing her into his lap, her body curling into his like she fit there naturally. For a moment, the world felt quiet. Too quiet. Michael's phone vibrated. A private number. Not Lucy, not Daniel. Someone worse. He stared at it. Malaika saw the tension in his jaw. Answer it, she said softly. He did. A calm, deep voice came through. Mr. George, you've caused quite the mess tonight. Michael's eyes narrowed. Who is this? I represent the organization your friend Daniel partnered with, the one that now has controlling interest in your company. Michael's pulse spiked. You bought my company illegally. Oh, not illegally, the voice corrected. Just immorally. Daniel signed willingly. Fear makes people cooperative. Michael clenched his fist. What do you want? Your compliance, the voice said. And the girl. She belongs to someone who paid a high price. Michael's heart pounded. She belongs to no one. Then you will both die for that belief. Michael's teeth gritted. If you touch her, you misunderstand, Mr. George. The voice cut in coldly. You don't have the leverage here. We already took everything from you. Your assets, your board, your company. Michael froze, and the voice continued. Tomorrow, the world will learn you've been removed from your own empire. Malaika gasped, reading his expression. But the voice wasn't done. Fear does strange things to the heart. It makes it cling harder, burn hotter, love deeper. When Michael leaned in to kiss Malaika, it wasn't gentle this time. It was hungry, desperate, alive. Her fingers tangled in his hair, pulling him closer as she kissed him back with trembling intensity. Every brush of lips, every gasp, every touch felt like proof they survived something meant to break them. He lifted her into his arms effortlessly, carrying her to the bedroom, their mouths never parting. Clothes fell, breaths hitched. Bodies met with a fierce kind of love, one born from fear, relief, and desire. He kissed her neck, her shoulders, her stomach slow at first, then deeper. Michael, she whispered breathlessly. His voice was low, rough, filled with longing. I almost lost you. You didn't, she breathed, arching into him. I'm here, I'm yours. Their bodies entwined, moving in, perfect. Fevered rhythm, slow, deep, intense. He held her like she was sacred. She wrapped around him like he was the only safe place left. It was passion and comfort, fire and devotion. Two wounded souls healing each other in the dark. When they finally collapsed together, she lay against his chest, breath uneven. His fingers stroked her back softly. Malaika, he murmured, I promise I will protect you. From the past, from the present, from every enemy. She kissed his chest. Our enemies, she whispered. We're in this together. 3 days after the mysterious threats began, everything fell apart at once. Malaika was home alone when the pain hit sharp, sudden, terrifying. Not normal pregnancy pain, something deeper. Something is wrong. She clutched her stomach and whispered, "No, not now, please." Her phone slipped from her hand as she crawled toward the door, desperate to get help. Before she could reach it, Micheal had just arrived. He carried her straight to the car, up to the hospital. She was rushed to the emergency room. After 1 week of staying in the hospital being monitored, the day arrived. Malaika's labor was long and painful, but Micheal never left her side. He held her hand. He whispered encouragement. He kissed her through every scream, every contraction, every tear. And when their twins finally cried into the world, Micheal broke down. A man who had lost his father, lost himself, lost hope, now held life in his hands. "They are perfect," Micheal whispered. "Just like us." Days later, as they sat watching their newborns plus Junior sleep, Micheal knelt beside her bed. She gasped, "Micheal." He took her hand, voice trembling. "I don't want to fight life alone. I want to fight it with you. And I want our children to grow up seeing that love isn't something to run from. It's something to choose. Every day." Tears filled her eyes. "Are you sure I'm who you want?" He smiled softly. "I've survived betrayal, heartbreak, business enemies, and my own fears. But losing you? I wouldn't survive that. I love you, Malaika. All of you, past, present, scars, and soul." Then he pulled out a ring. He kissed her slow, deep, tender, sealing the promise they had fought so hard to reach. The company emerged shaken but stronger. Micheal replaced the corrupt CFO. Contracts, sabotaged by Lucy and her allies, were nullified. Michael's board, witnessing his transparency and integrity, rallied behind him. Micheal and Malaika's company flourished, now fully theirs, grounded in trust and transparency. Their 3 children across the garden, laughing. Their home was peaceful. Their love is stronger than ever. Malaika was running a foundation for women escaping dangerous situations. Michelle's business recovered and tripled after exposing internal corruption. Lucy had long disappeared. Kato was in prison. And every night, before sleeping, Micheal held Malaika close and whispered, "We made it." Because in the end, love wasn't what saved them. They saved each other. Even as Lucy faded into the background of their lives, a reminder remained. Love and integrity can survive betrayal, power struggles, and unexpected storms, but only if you face them together. With a shared glance, Micheal and Malaika acknowledged the lesson they learned. Sometimes, letting go of the past opens the door to new beginnings. They had embraced a future filled with laughter, love, and the promise of many beautiful memories yet to come. Each day was a new page in their story, and they cherished every moment they spent together in their beautiful, colorful life.